Oh man, what's going on, world? What's going on, world? It's the one and only one and only, one and only me. Me, man. Welcome to the show, man. Happy 420, man. We out here, man. If it ain't messy, it ain't me, man. I know y'all not familiar, aware with who and what I am, but I'm a man that's locked out my phone, and now I'm in that bitch. So it's messy, straight like that. What's going on, world, man? Um, Yeah, we live. I'm trying to chime in, make sure everything on the twos and ones and twos, man. Um, Hold on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry, I had to get my situation together. So yeah, we're gonna keep it greasy and gravy. Yeah, so um, it's 420, man. It's Earth Day, man. Science has definitely made um, science has made Joanna hella strong. I remember when I smoked back in the day, um, back in 95, but yeah, 94, 95. I ain't started smoking till I was like 14, 15, man. Mm, I I was born in Philly. So of course the culture to move back in the day, 80s baby. Weed was like cigarettes for real, especially in the city. So that was cool. Um, at the end of the day, it was weed that you can goddamn go and share with your mom and shit and just be proud that you had some good weed. Not today, because science done fucked up. Science done made weed too goddamn strong. That's a motherfucking problem. Um, when you make the weed too strong, like, you tend to lose friends. In my personal opinion, I think you tend to lose friends when you make a weed too strong. In case you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm talking about what's the shit they call Mendo breath. That's like what 20, 19, 20%. And they say that's low grade. I remember when the chronic was 20% THC and that was supposed to be the shit. Now like if you got 20% THC, like you a punk. You a whole goddamn punk. If you got some shit that's 20, 19, 20%. I just think that's heartbreaking. I really think that's a heartbreaking situation, and we need to be more conscious of the type of weed that we grow behind this science because it's ridiculous. I mean, why do you want to smoke something? I guess it's good that you could smoke less because you really do, save stress on your lungs per se. But at the same time, golly, folks, talk to me. Do you really want to goddamn rush to get home, take out, get the kids to sleep and goddamn. It's almost like doing a blast of crack now. You with the runts and all that shit, the diamonds and the. Dad? Yeah, baby. I'm coming. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's what the weed got people doing these days, man. I don't really think I want, um, I don't think I want weed that strong. A lot of my partners in the dispensary industry, they call me. They say, "Hey, Gemma, I got some one stop shopper." I like to. I like to do that type shit. I don't get put on my good smoking clothes and come in a man cave just to walk back out. I want to chill in a man cave, so we need to go through what we go through. I mean, case in point. Now, what you see behind me is the one and only Meet the Doobies, man. Sponsored by Meet the Doobies. Meet the Doobies. As you can see the products behind us, man. There's exclusive smoking trays, exclusive ashtrays. They have exclusive grinders, rolling papers. Yeah, I mean, and more to come. T-shirts, hats, you name it. Meet the Doobies, man. You got to meet the Doobies. You got to get into the neighborhood, and hopefully you'll meet some good neighbors out there, man. It's definitely a great circumstance, a great energy, a great community, and hopefully we can meet one day and chit chat. But at any rate, Phil Doobie. As you can see, he's definitely one, the OG with his head on his shoulders. That's Dad, that's Pop. You know what I mean? Phil Doobie, in case, for the fast folk that was running too fast and missed it. For the Philly. For the Philly. For the Philly. The Philly, I would say the Philly Dutch, but that's a double negative. The Philly Blunt cigar. Jay, as you can see over my shoulder, Jay, you rolling you a joint, you rolling you a J. He's more of the, almost a happy-go-lucky kind of a, more of a lighthearted kind of guy. Younger, and then you got Lucy Doobie, who's you gotta roll you a Lucy, a loose or a single. So she's more of a down to earth, charismatic, vibey kind of a situation, and in that space, they lost their mom, Mary J. She passed away, man, and they're off and moving to a new community, and getting their roots in, and they're discovering that there's no place like home, and it's going to be a tough time for them to be able to fuse themselves in a new environment and let people get to know them, accept them, hopefully for who they are. And we all know what that means. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Meet the Doobies. Go check it out, www.meetthedoobies.com. We have a private smoking group for only the private players out there that will smoke heavy, on Facebook. Come smoke with us, man. No funny shit. Yeah, so at the end of the day, man, I just like regular weed, man. I used to grow my own weed back in the day. And I remember the show. I think I got fired over this, as a matter of fact. I was working this job, man, and I ain't gonna lie, I would have fired me too, but I'm all over the place, and I always believe in the medicinal aspect of marijuanas and stuff. So at the end of the day, I was watching the joint. My little brother put me on a show called Weeds and shit, and about the little her name was Angela, not Mary, Nancy. Yeah, Nancy. That little. Yeah, so Nancy, she was the center stage person, basically stay at home mom. Husband died, ain't really have no money after he died, so she ended up started selling little weed, was turned into big weed circumstantially. So I seen that show and just saw them growing and growing and growing their own situations, and then cloning through different episodes and seasons. You see them ended up cultivating their own strain at a certain point and shortening the lifespan of the flowering process and stuff like that. So that itself was I don't know, it was a very light bulb type situation, like I guess that's how some of them dudes felt like when they cooked crack or some shit for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But, as far as them, I was like, oh shit. So I just started soaking up and soaking up and soaking up and soaking up knowledge and soaking up information, and sure as shit, I had a room full of plants. I had a room full of plants, sure enough. And I had I used to talk to the plants before I knew that talking to them was a cool thing to do. You know what I mean? I used to go and then come in the room, and it was just like from the color of the lights and the reflective, the aluminum foil I had before I had that. I never used that those sheets, them light sheets or whatever that look like aluminum paper, but reflective paper. But yeah, I had all that, man, and it just looked so peaceful when I would walk into my room and I would spray them. You spray a little water on them and shit, or whatever little solution you got in there, little touch them up and shit. And if they then reached up since you've been gone, you raise the light up a little bit and they just stretch out and they grow damn near in front of you, man. I got turned on by that shit. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that was the simplicity and the art into it. Then I got into the cloning things. So I just had stuff everywhere. Like I got OCD bad. Like so I just had little weed plants and splices and roots and leaves and shit, and fucking seedlings and shit. I had a notepad. I was like taking notes on everything. Like you want to talk about having OCD and ADHD and all that shit. Like how you have attention depth. Like I was all over the fucking place, man. But I had like a notebook. Like I was like, as soon as I came home, I'm going to take notes, get the kids straight. I'm like, I'll be back. I'm going in my room. I go in that bitch writing notes and shit. Wake up in the morning talking to the plants, man, and shit. You see they flowers and shit be down. And you just see them stretch the hell up and they got down. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful process. And then you get to go ahead and switch to the fruiting process, the flowering process, and to get your fruits off. And it's like, oh shit, it's even better than growing your own tomatoes. I mean, tomatoes are great, but it's nothing like growing your own marijuana strain. You know what I mean? Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, that was my curb appeal. That was my situation that I liked. And now, even when things were chemically being remastered, because I did, like I say, see the hydroponic situation where you do use a lot of chemicals, and then you got the organics and non-organics, but at the end of the day, basically it was going into producing these plants. We end up smoking it. So that's the truth behind those situations, why you got to be careful who and what makes your marijuanas and where you get your marijuanas from, other than the legal dispensary, with your legal marijuana card, and go vote. Now, as you can see, there's definitely, did y'all hear that? As you can see, there's definitely room, I guess, for improvement to make things a little more mellow. And some of them strains they got out there, wedding cake and pound cake and lemon cake, fruit cake, these are flavors that, they're strong and pungent and poignant, but at the same time, they kind of most of the cakes, they have like a nice gassy taste, but very mellowing effect. But I like some good old head crack, man. Some good old, headband green crack. I think it was called head crack. They did made a merger. I think they did breed and do a breed, basically. And did that. Again, I remember, and by happenstance, I had it once, but I think one more time after that, years apart. But the number one skunk, man, that shit, oh my God, that texture of green with the little red nodes on the shit, like, it got a distinct smell, just like when I first had the real sour diesel. That smell right there, that flavor. Whoever whipped that shit up in the lab, all praise be to God. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly, sir. Appreciate you. Granddaddy Purple is cool. I definitely, the real Granddaddy Purple. Cause some of that purple shit you can't smoke, man. When a motherfucker show you some purple shit, some purple herb, man, for the most part, run the other motherfucking way, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not even tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Run the other way, cause most of that shit, it be fugazi, man. That shit burn hard. You got a headache before you get high, man. You don't want the headache before you get high, trust me. You know what I'm saying? Um, Shit, man. I don't think that. I hope the weed couldn't get any stronger than it is now, because it's just like, what the fuck? That's why motherfuckers on so much pills and everything else. Like, I mean, weed is the new heroin and all that shit, in my opinion. Like, weed, like, motherfuckers want the strongest shit to gag or choke a little bit, or depending on if you can vaporize or whatever, and just like, that's why, man. And God bless those people out there, you know, poisoning people weed, man, with that shit, man. That shit is horrible. That shit is fucking horrible, man. Like, God bless, man. God bless, God bless. That shit is fucking horrible. People poisoning and lacing that weed, having a motherfucker smoke that shit and drop dead, man. That shit is horrible. But it's growth season right now, outdoor season, so a lot of great strands are being grown again. I know the cookies, I've been following Burner and stuff, and he even has a situation he's been going around, but they've been collecting rare seeds and stuff like that. But I think they've been taking them rare seeds and then genetically, you know what I mean, just like breeding dogs and stuff. They know how to, pollinate flowers, spice, all kinds of different techniques to get these things to happen and stuff, and to force the plant to grow genetically, and then get to see the results of the fruits that it gives. And they can do it in an expedient process. Basically, if you know about cloning, once you get a good strong mother plant, you can start taking slithers off of each branch of a leaf and the stem, getting some clone residue, powder, juice, or whatever you want to make solution, and then you're off to the races. Traditionally, I really don't smoke nothing outside of regular weed. I don't really do no dabs. I don't really do no bowls. Sometimes I got a bong or two, but I rarely use them and shit. I mean, but it's definitely a good time when it's definitely a great time, when they are used. Don't get me wrong. But I just like, you know what I mean? And I used to be straight Dutches for the longest time. Then I got on the Optimus when they first came out with this new line. I was even trying to get a sponsorship from them motherfuckers. Then I went back to Dutches because they had switched up the recipe and the formula, and the shit be getting, like, when they switch up shit, batches and cigarillos and shit, you can feel that shit on your lips. So I can't anyway. And then sometimes, like, I can feel that shit, my body have a reaction to it. So finally I got to blowing on these papers. So papers is good with me. And that's why we got our own exclusive papers now. They hand selected, sampled and tested prior to going into production. Hemp, slow burn, unbleached, king size rolling paper for, the kings and queens out there, and the upcoming kings and queens. And if you don't consider yourself a kings and queen, be it whatever, the best of the best, or whatever you are, whatever you do, however low you think it is, or however beneath anybody you think you are for whatever fucked up reason, be the best of whatever you are. But that's what we got. We here to meet and greet. Meet the Doobies is a state of mind. If it ain't messy, it ain't me. Meet the Doobies is a state of mind of expression of in the days of our origins. We had subliminal intuition, which means the slogan is you are what you wear. You know what I mean? So a lot of people say we dress how we feel. So the arts and graphics and images around subliminal intuition was based on something that would be hidden or exhibited on the inside of you that you wouldn't ordinarily share. Meet the Doobies kinds of brings that on definitely on the external standpoint, and deals with self-expression in a more harder form. Subliminal intuition was subliminal, to be intuitive subliminally. Meet the Doobies is definitely more of an in-your-face type of situation with the directive of, hey, we are this group of people. We're in a new atmosphere. We're odd man out, odd woman out, and we're here. So how do we be here, be comfortable here, and you be comfortable here? Now that's an open-end conversation because I guess that could be applied to many different factions of life right now for groups and classes of people that are trying to say, hey, we're here. We're here. We're here now. How could we, make it a peaceable and plausible situation for us to be here together without infringements. So, yeah, that was the basis of Meet the Doobies. That was created in 2012, around that time. And just kind of in the process and in the process of cultivation and building. And just seeing where the world's come and going from with everything going on these days. Meet the Doobies is definitely relevant and prevalent for this era of our lives. So you're gonna see more of Meet the Doobies in different formats. And again, I guess the paraphernalia side came after the fact, but definitely we want this creation to be, and we're speaking it out loud. We're speaking out loud before, and definitely see some avenues of some things coming to life. But we definitely want this thing animated and on a television set to drive home some very messy points. So shout out to Meet the Doobies. Check it out, meetthedoobies.com, man. If it ain't messy, it ain't me, man. And at the end of the day, man, I hope everybody stays safe, man. We just checking and testing on the 1-2s. We love y'all and appreciate y'all for respecting, for taking your time out to hear my thoughts and do what I do. If it ain't messy, it ain't me.